All right. Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Sutton. I'm a reporter here at the Fredericksburg Standard Radio Post, and today I'm joined by my boss, publisher Esten Cooke here at the Standard. It's a national newspaper week, and so I thought I'd bring you on to just kind of talk about the state of newspapers and our newspaper. So, guess we can just kind of jump right in.
Sure.
So my first question is, over the past year, we've been covering a lot of issues like COVID-19 and the winter storm and affordable housing, and we've not only done it through regular news stories, but we've done it through features, we've done it through video, photos, editorials, and as a publisher, why do you feel it's necessary to tell the story in so many different avenues?
Well, there's a Arthur Miller quote, and it says, "A newspaper is a nation talking to itself." And so, we're not a national media entity, obviously, but we cover Gillespie County like no one else does, and you oftentimes are the only media present at a lot of our meetings, and Madeline covers county, so it's important to present both sides, for people to be able to make up their minds and make informed decisions about things. But then we're also, and you've been helping us tremendously with this, presenting information in different mediums now. So, we're doing the digital. Reed's got a great sports podcast. We're doing these videos like this, and so it's just something to make the information accessible to more people and find them where they are. A lot of people are online, and fewer people do read print now, so we have to adjust to that.
Yeah. I talked to one of my old friends in San Angelo, and he said, as a newspaper nowadays, you can't just think of yourself as a newspaper. You're kind of like an information getter-outer. So
Right.
you got to be able to get it to people in any way they take it. So
yeah, and you do a great job with our website and updating. When there is breaking news in town, and we get it out there, and then we use our social media channels too. And so it's important to be accessible on a lot of variety of places.
And then the theme for National Newspaper Week this year is Community Forum. And in the time that I've worked here, I've noticed we try to get the community engaged a lot, and we do that through letters to the editor. We do it through social media, call out posts. We do it sometimes through just our articles in the Standard. And as someone who's been in the newspaper business a long time, why do you feel it's important for the newspaper staff to always be talking to its people that it serves?
Yeah. Well, I just finished writing an editorial about this, and the paper provides it's a needed way to provide context for people, and then it's also a civil way. There's so much rancor and on social media, and so that turns a lot of people off. And so I think we'll definitely jump into a fight if there's one worth fighting, but we don't view that as our main mission. We try to just provide accurate information and provide some context for it. And then, like I said earlier, sometimes we're the only people covering the meetings with the taxing entities around here, and other meetings as well. So, we're trained. You have a journalism degree. I studied journalism, and so we have a way to provide all of that in an accurate way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's also kind of nice to always be talking to people because while we think we do a great job, sometimes it's good to hear from them and just kind of hear what if they have anything. Hey, why haven't y'all asked this question? And sometimes we're
Exactly.
like, why haven't we asked that question?
Yeah, our readers provide invaluable feedback. And I like to encourage people to write letters, write guest columns. We've had some really thoughtful guest columns from both sides about the affordable housing issue. Yeah. And these people think of things that we don't, because I don't have a guest home, and you don't, and so we're happy to have those points of view in the paper.
And then as time goes on, you kind of touched on this earlier. A lot of readers are steering away from the print product, and getting their information in more digital ways. Has the Standard seen that as well through its subscribers? Have there been more of a trend looking at the digital ways that we do things?
Yes, there definitely is. during those times when like during the winter storm, when the coronavirus first broke out, our website was getting hit, record numbers, and so people do still rely on us as a trusted medium to provide accurate information. Most people, actually, most of our subscribers, they get the paper copy, but they also take the e-edition, and so they get a link in their email, and they can click right on that, and that provides immediacy, to where you may have to wait a day or so for the postal service to get your mail copy to you, and that's just going to increase. Some people are strictly e-edition, and they don't even read the paper edition anymore. Some people don't like the ink on their fingers. I like it just because I grew up with it. But and we'll face some challenges in that respect too, and have to meet that because the Postal Service is about to increase rates pretty significantly on us, and so we're going to have to pass those on to our out-of-county and out-of-state subscribers. We don't really have a choice in that matter, and so we're the people who do read the e-edition and then still get the mail copy, they may want to consider, because we're going to start charging a small premium to continue to get the mail copy for those ones that cost a lot. It costs almost $1 a piece to send them out for when we have a special section or a big magazine or something included, and we do that pretty often, as you know.
Yeah. And I gotta say, my parents are both subscribers, and they really like to get the e-edition because my dad's always on the go, and he's traveling, to different states, and whenever he gets it in his email, he gets a notification. He's like, oh, and he'll open it and read it, and so that it's always a great thing. And I also wanted to credit E-Type Services. They do a good job. We send it in Wednesday morning, and they do a good job of getting it ready. And as soon as we all go to lunch, I'm getting that email on my. So
yeah, I still own my hometown paper, which is about 2.5 hours away, and I get the e-edition and pretty much read it exclusively. But as soon as it comes, I know what's going on in my hometown.
Yeah, it's nice to have. It's nice, like you said, the immediacy. And then for the for revenue, I wanted to kind of touch on that. Revenue has been kind of weird for a lot of newspapers. We obviously have ad sales through newspapers, special sections, but is the Standard doing anything unique to try to gain more revenue?
Well, our whole industry there's kind of been a trend of relying more on subscriber revenue than advertising revenue, because a lot of advertisers are moving to strictly digital play or digital marketing efforts, and so you've seen your daily newspaper subscription prices go up significantly, even though there's less advertising in it, and for the most part, and some of the bigger players are figuring that out. The New York Times and the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal, but they have economies of scale that we can't match. But we still try to take their best ideas. There's nonprofit models, which, like the Texas Tribune, and that's an interesting idea. I don't exactly think that's something that could be replicated in every single market. We could do it here some in Fredericksburg, but like a rural market like my hometown, that's where there's less wealth, that may not be possible to have a just donation funded journalism. There's an interesting thing in Congress right now, and it's actually got some good bipartisan support. It's called the Local Journalism Sustainability Act, and it provides tax breaks. It's only a 5-year plan, so it's not a permanent hickey on federal revenues, but for readers can deduct the cost of their subscription for supporting local media, which is attractive to them, whether it's $50 or $250, which it might be in a larger market. It lets advertisers deduct the cost of their advertising, their marketing costs, through local media, and then it lets publishers deduct part of the reporter costs. So I could deduct part of your salary from our taxes at the end of the year. And like I said, this is just a 5-year program, but it's just to kind of help newspapers and local media through these this digital transition time.
Yeah.
Because we don't have it all figured out.
Right.
And we're still trying to find our way into it. And there's got to be a balance. There's kind of a saying in our industry about trying to replace print dollars with digital pennies. And so we're still finding that. And then you have the big players like Facebook and Google that kind of gobble up most of the digital advertising that's available. So, but anyway, that Local Journalism Sustainability Act is a positive development.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting thing, and it would not only fund us to be able to kind of start getting it more figured out, but it would also allow, because it would be so attractive to readers that it it would allow for the increase of subscriptions, and which means people would start getting more accurate information from their local media.
Exactly. And there's been a trend. I think there's been 2,000 newspapers closed throughout the nation over the past decade or so, and so that's not a good trend.
No.
People getting all their news from social media is not healthy for our nation, and we've seen that this week, and with some of the revelations that came out in the Wall Street Journal about Facebook's business practices. It's just it's troubling, and so we want to support local media however we can.
Yeah, for sure. And then I guess my last question is, we had talked, and I heard you had said some things earlier this year about maybe changing some design plans. What are some plans overall that the Fredericksburg Standard has going forward?
Well, we just want to kind of freshen up every now and then. You got to do kind of a freshen up your look. Put on some new makeup, as it were.
Get a facelift.
And so we're going to try to redesign some products and make them a little more relevant, maybe have a little more food and wine content, since that's obviously a huge part of our local economy. We've got some new softwares that we'll be implementing to help us on our website. And one is through placing obituaries. It'll make it easier for people to leave comments and send flowers and things like that. So that's kind of a neat software offering.
That's cool.
We're looking at another software that can just let readers submit their own classified advertising, so we don't have to go through salesperson, and so those are all neat developments in our industry. And like I said earlier, we try to watch the big guys, the national media, and just see how they're able to do things, and then take their best practices and scale them down to where we are. And so just whatever helps us get the news out quickly and accurately and on through as many different channels as we can. That's kind of what we're going for. Yeah,
and I think anyone in any industry can say that sometimes if you have a passion for your industry, when reading about it, you're always kind of interested. Oh yeah, how can we do that? And I remember a couple of weeks ago you had sent something from the Kansas City newspaper. I forgot what the
Star.
Yeah, the Star, and they had been kind of bringing more into their e-edition and kind of having a more interactive e-edition. And so I thought, ooh, that's kind of cool. Like, been brainstorming about what we can do there. So
yeah, it's possible to we can place this video onto our PDF in our e-edition. So we'll be working towards a lot of that kind of thing. That's just kind of has a little bit of a gee whiz factor. So
yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the questions that I have for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before I let you go?
Mostly just it's National Newspaper Week. We hope our readers and advertisers will reflect on the service that we provide. And then we also just want to say a huge thank you to our readers and advertisers because they provide us with the funds to be able to do this. And we view it as a privilege, and it's not something that we take for granted at all. But being able to employ guys like Sam to provide accurate reporting for our community, we think that's hugely important. And so,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always reading and listening to our podcasts. Please continue to do so. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Again, my name was Samuel Sutton. I'm with the Fredericksburg Standard Radio Post, and I was joined by Ken Esten Cooke, publisher of the Fredericksburg Standard Radio Post.
Thanks, Sam.